What's up, everybody? We have Chad, who is an amazing student of Major League Profits. How are you doing today, Chad?
Good, good. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Where in the country are you calling from?
Yeah, Bay City, Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. Gotcha. We have a lot of Michigan guys. I don't know why, but there's a bunch of even one of our coaches is from Michigan.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but cool. So you've been doing amazing. And I find your story pretty intriguing because it's not like most people's in our program. But I guess let's start from square one. So I'm assuming you saw like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. Tell me, like in the beginning, like you saw an ad, you booked a call with us, or you attend the webinar and you bought one of the two. So what was your thought? Were you like, this is a scam, this is the greatest thing ever? And I'm kind of in between. Like, what were your first thoughts?
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was a scam. I really understood kind of buying and selling. I bought video games still on eBay. So the eBay tactic, drop shipping, people buy and sell on Amazon. So I understood that. But it comes to sports cards, I knew nothing. I didn't know what Panini was. So if you don't know what Panini was in sports cards, like saying
I thought it was a sandwich, right?
You don't know what GMC has, no cars, right? Cars, right? So my point is I knew nothing. And I just thought, okay, so you're buying a card and you're getting it graded, right? That's kind of what you preach. But there's a lot more going into that because you talk to a lot of friends that have sports cards, like, yeah, I send this in and I can't get cards to grade, or they never grade for me. So understanding how to look at that, that's kind of like, okay, you'll train that. And then just understanding kind of the market and how you put that with all the videos and stuff. Made it very clear what is needed. I joined it just because, want to make some extra money. I like sports. So, the point is it's pretty simple there. It's just understanding, what it is. And I got it, but I had no clue where to start. Like I said, I didn't know what Panini was. So you can imagine that's where I started.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was either when I first got into sports cards years ago. Yeah. So I kept thinking to myself, I was like, why is the name of this company the same name as the sandwich? Like, I was like, what is like, I don't get it. But okay, cool. So you joined. So right now when we're talking, it's late October of 2023. And you joined what date?
June 15th.
So you joined June 15th, but I know you said you didn't buy your first card because you took the time to do your research and understand things. So you want to talk about like that, kind of going through the process and actually learning things, and like then to the date when you bought your first card, like what did you do?
Yeah. So when I joined the program, I bought a couple cards, to be honest. I never really looked at one in person. So I bought a pack of just Prism cards and I bought a couple off eBay, $2-3. But you look at a card online, you look at it in the way that you package, our drop ship and stuff, it kind of makes it foolproof because they catch the flaws you may not see. So, so what I did is I thought, okay, there's so many cards out there, and you give the player list, you give the list of names, and, you're targeting more of the hype players. But there's specific cards that are buy lower and sell higher if they're graded. So I just did my research, like what type of Panini is there? There's silver prisms, which I'm scared of just because they're hard to grade. Black silver prisms, which now I'm buying a little bit of football, which you look at it, it's like, wow, it's amazing. So I learned kind of what cards optics sell more than Donruss, right? So then, just kind of train myself, looking at the players, looking at the cards, and just taking notes. Yeah, the comps can change, but I want to go through each card and say, I know what this is comping at. If I get it for $40, if I get it for $100, a PSA 9 selling for 120 or selling for 60. So I know that ratio because I just didn't want to take the time to do that. I want to say, hey, if I send a card to my coach, I know that if he says, give the thumbs up and I get it for right price, I'm good. I'm in the green, right? So I really did a lot of research, especially with baseball. Baseball, there's so many cards, and it was my least favorite sport. I knew nothing about it, but done so much research, and I realize now that baseball prospecting and just buying off season is probably the highest volume and probably can be the most lucrative in terms of buying a lower price card. So yeah, I stayed up late hours and nights watching YouTube, watching sports, just watching all sorts of channels, right? Everybody talks about sports cards, and just taking that mindset, target the newer cards because the older you go, the harder to grade. So that made clear sense, but it was challenging, not challenging, but it was really a great experience because of the fact that when I'd send a card, it's almost like I was sending these cards like, man, my coach is picking out every single flaw. But now that I look at a card, that's what you do, right? You fly through it. Say, there's a flaw, pass. There's a flaw, pass. So it teaches you. In fact, a lot of cards, I don't even have to open up when I'm searching eBay on a computer because I can say it's offset or not. So the time I spend and then do more details, and obviously I'll request more pictures. If there's some guys that post great pictures, right? They're beautiful. And some guys just don't. So you learn that, but I put the research in just because I truly wanted to learn it. you offer a guarantee, so obviously it works, but I understand that I knew nothing about sports cars, but in fact that helped because Coach Mo taught me so much in terms of what to look for and who to target. And then just I kind of went through daily and said, okay, these are the sets of cars I'm going to target, not necessarily just random look. And I saved my searches, and when those popped up and I got that notification on my eBay app on my phone, I would instantly message the seller for the seller and say, hey, I need some more pictures. Like I was jumping the action. So I just knew, hey, this is the right car to buy because I get it for the right price. A 9 is worth this, and a 10 is worth this. So 2 months, I literally just put some hours, a lot of hours in, but now I feel so much more confident just looking at cards. And it doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, soccer. I mean, heck, you could buy Pokemon, Disney. It doesn't matter. It's just you're buying a raw card, good condition, find some comps, and turning it to PSA. So really exciting too, and I learned so much in the past few months, and I think that has really helped where I'm at today. So
cool. Well, that's some good insight. Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes students make is they just jump the gun without actually learning anything or knowing anything. They just watch one of my videos and then just start going at it. They'll just probably skip to the video that talks about like scrolling on eBay, and then they'll just go and start buying on eBay. But there's so much more that goes into it. So research for 2 months, and you bought your first card. And now it's been like you said, and you bought your first card when?
Yes, my first card got sent to PSA on 8/18, we'll call it. That's when it got
okay,
sent.
So about almost exactly 2 months ago. So what are the results look like? How many cards have you gotten back? What percentage of PSA 10s? What does the money look like? You tell me.
If you're enjoying the content of the video and you want to learn how to make a side income with sports cards, I spent the past 3 months putting together a training to show you exactly how it's done in detail. Sports cards has allowed me to live a life beyond my wildest imagination, and I'm thankful for the hobby every single day. That is the reason I teach sports cards, and I am so passionate about it. At the end of the training, we offer a paid program where you can work closer with me. However, I don't want you joining until you've watched the free training I put together. It will show you exactly what's inside the program and how to make money with sports cards, and from there, you can make an educated decision. So if you'd like to sign up for the free training, either scan the QR code on the screen or text Eric to 631-544-7005 or click the link in the description. Just to repeat it, you can either scan the QR code or text Eric to 631-544-7005 or click the link in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
Yeah. So right now I got 7 cards back. My first card was a PSA 9 and the rest were 10s. So the PSA 9 I made $40 on. You can't complain. It was a Cad Cunningham purple panini insert card. After I looked at it, I'm like, why did I even send it? Because off-centered. But hey, I still made $40, so learn as you go, right? So I have 5 cards listed right now. Those cards, I'll definitely double my money. I'm thinking I may triple or even a little more. So I got 4 Banchero cards listed. They're just Banchero autos, PSA 10s. I do got 1 9 actually, so I have 2 9s. I apologize. And then I have a Vinicius Jr. Hollow Optic 2018 soccer card. That card I paid $113 after fees, $20 to grade, so I'm $133 into it. It's kind of a rare card. There's only 44 10s from 2018, so raw average comps are kind of crazy, $800 to $1,200. But now is the time to sell soccer season based on the research I did. And since that card is, and the sales were last year, I don't know what's going to bring, but it could be, I would expect 8 to 10x, could be more, just because there's not many out there. Lower pop PSA 10s, people are going to pay more, especially a 2018 hollow optic card. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So
I would go on a soccer Facebook group and post it.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Yeah.
Do it.
Point.
Yeah, do that. I think you'll get some crazy guy that is huge. He's on Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, yes, yep.
Yeah, so you'll get some crazy Madrid fan might offer you a lot of money.
I like that advice. Thank you for that. Because actually, I will do that now. I think about that.
Do it. You'll get because in these other Facebook groups like hockey and soccer, it's hard for them to get cards graded. So a lot of the times they overpay for graded cards because collectors want PSA 10s. So give that a post and let me know how that goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So on the how much money have you spent on the 6 or 7 cards you've bought so far they've gotten back, and how much are you or have you or do you think you're going to make?
So on those cards, those 6 or 7 cards, I spent about $1,300, and I expect to make between probably $2,500 and $4,000, just depending on how that hollow goes. Like I said, but just I don't see why I wouldn't make 25 to 3 grand easily.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's after all fees and everything too, and that's with 2 9s. So you know, 9s aren't bad. It's just it's crazy because as I started during football season, didn't buy a football card because I was learning. But as I bought basketball, you can see the time I bought it to kind of the time I got graded and listed, those cards went up like $100 a card. So I kind of figured a 9 is
And then how much did you buy? How much did you buy them for?
Yeah, I bought that Cad Cunningham for 260, and that sold for like 350-ish or something like that. So
raw.
So I bought it raw for 260, and the PSA 9 sold for 350.
Raw,
they're selling at 330, 340. Yeah, those are 9. Yeah, yep, yeah. So my 10s, I paid 200 for a Banchero rookie optic, and I paid 230 for the same card. Right now there's 42 watchers on that card and like 36 on the other. One's at 222 and one's at 67, but there's not a Banchero card that doesn't sell under $400. So, and the fact that it's a pop 1 and pop 2, I own both. I think that if people did some research, it should bring some good money for it. So
sounds like you're doing exactly as I preach, right? You're riding with the wind. You know, you're putting the wind at your back by timing the market correctly. That's why like you'll probably do well in those Bancheros and the Cade. Well, that's good. And last question I'll have for you is, I guess you kind of already answered this, but I'll ask it anyways. What would you say to someone that's new? New to forget the program. Let's say new to sports cards. And let's say they don't have the money to join the program. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that if you time the market right and you buy everything 60 to 70% from comps off eBay. So social media, Ryan's Discord, it's easily done. You can take that money, time the market, put on eBay, make your money, save your money, and then invest in MLP. Because the point is, raw cards is a really grind. I mean, it's kind of the same concept, but once you start targeting better cards and not higher end cards, but better cards and knowing what cards could grade and the value of it. I mean, there's people that sell services to flip raw cards, but really grading cards seems to be the easiest and most profitable. And the fact that how the MLP is set up with drop shipping and having a second set of eyes look at these cards, I mean, you really can't go wrong unless you're buying over comps, because you don't ever have to touch a card. You don't have to ever ship a card if you don't want to. But it's truly an amazing, experience, especially if you look at just e-commerce. Like if you look at just online sites such as Amazon drop shipping and stuff, those guys make 10-20%. We're making 300-400-500-600% each card if it grades. So just keep that mindset. I mean, you can make the money because if you buy at low comps and sell it on eBay, there's always people buying. If you time that market, like I just said, it's going to go up. So you save that money, you invest in MLP, you join it, and then you can make some really good sign money.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, Chad. Thank you so much. I'll give this a post to like our Facebook group and Discord, so I'm sure you'll be slammed with messages. So you either mute your phone or be prepared to answer messages.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, Chad, you have a good one.
You too.